Hello and welcome to the Out of the Sandbox video guide to the Parallax 3.0 Shopify Theme homepage setup, now using Shopify Sections. Today we're going to take a look at how you can go from a fresh upload of the new version of the Parallax theme and then use the built-in customized theme settings to end up with a version of the homepage that looks just like this Madrid demo that we have as one of the Parallax demo shops. So we're going to be using this Madrid demo as our model. We're going to go through all of the settings and end up with a version that looks just like this one. So before we get started, let's take a look at what we're already working with on the Shopify platform. So here we are on the admin panel, and I'm going to start by showing you that in this products area, we already have products on the platform. So these products have titles, descriptions, images, prices, tags, all of the attributes that you would expect to see with a product on Shopify. Additionally, those products have been categorized into some collections. So these are the collections that we're going to use to fill in the navigation and to show off some features of the homepage. So if you needed any assistance with adding products to the platform or categorizing those products into collections, check out the Shopify documentation, because that's where you'll find all the resources you need to help you out in that area. So besides products and collections, if you go to this online store area here and to blog posts, you'll see that we already have a couple of blog posts on the platform. These blog posts have titles and content. You'll notice the blog posts also have these excerpts here, and I'll show you why that's important a little later on. In the pages area here, we have some pages that we'll be using to fill in the navigation and to populate the homepage. Then finally, in this navigation area, we have various menus created. These are used for the main menu, for the footer menu, and I'll show you those as we go through the configuration of the homepage. So then into this themes link here, you'll see this is your themes panel, and I'm going to go ahead and upload a fresh version of the theme. So depending on how you purchase the theme, this step might be a little bit different for you. But if you purchase the theme through outofthesandbox.com, you would have received an email with a download link. And that download link would get you this zip file, and you can upload the zip file just like you see here. Alternatively, if you purchase the theme through the Shopify theme store, you can expect the theme to appear on your themes panel automatically. So here it is uploading now, and I'm going to go ahead and publish the theme so that we can see all of our changes on our live version of the site. So let's take a look at a preview here. So this is the default appearance of the Parallax theme, so without any settings configured yet. All right, so let's flip back over to the admin panel and go to Customize Theme here and see what settings we have to play with. So this is the new editor, the new theme editor on Shopify. You'll notice that the settings are now on the left, and that they're split up a little bit differently. So we've got this sections link, and we've got this general settings link. And any of the changes that we make in the settings on the left will update in the preview window here on the right immediately. So before we jump into any of these sections related settings, let's go to the general settings. So my recommended first step whenever you go to customize your homepage from a fresh install of the theme is to go and change your theme style. You'll see that we have these 4 theme styles, and these styles correspond with the 4 demos. So here's the Madrid demo, which we've already seen. We have the Vienna demo here. We have the Los Angeles demo, which looks like this. And finally, we have the Aspen demo. And by choosing a preset that corresponds with one of these demos, you will be selecting a grouping of color and typography settings all at once to match these demos. So since we are using the Madrid demo as our model, I'm going to go ahead and select that and change the style. But my suggestion for you is to go through those demos, take a look at those styles of colors and typographies and backgrounds, and choose one that you think is close to a good jumping off point for how you want to customize your store, and make that decision first. Because as you go and choose the theme style here in the settings, it will overwrite your previous setting decisions, so it's a good first step. All right, now with the theme style changed, you can see that the typography settings and the color settings are now matching the Madrid theme to a certain degree. These are the color settings that it changed automatically. So all of the text, link, button, layout, and background color settings. And then the background settings here, you'll also find the settings associated with background images. So if you wanted to apply background images to various aspects of your shop, this is where you would do that. Then typography is where you would change all of your typeface decisions. For regular text, banner headings, all of the text throughout the shop, it's all taken care of right here in this area of settings. The only other settings here in the general settings that really apply to what we're going to be looking at today would be the currency converter that you can enable and disable here, as well as select your various currencies and your formatting decisions. Then the search feature, which you don't enable and disable here, but you can determine whether the search results will look just through product data or also through blog post and page information. All right, so with the general settings addressed, let's take a look at the section settings. So here we are in our section settings. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the header first, the header being a common element to the site, meaning that it will appear on all pages, not just on the home page. So here we have a few logo settings. As you'll see, there's a logo and a secondary logo, and I'll show you why. So secondary logo is described as a logo over content, and it's optional. So this is a logo that appears when you first land on the home page. As you see here, there's a white version of the logo appearing over a dark slider image here. Whereas as you scroll down, the sticky header has a lighter background, so we have a darker logo for that appearance. So you've got settings to allow you to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the light version of the logo for the secondary logo, and choose the dark version of the logo as the normal logo. Wonderful, so you can see that already. The light version of the logo is appearing, and as I scroll down, if the sticky header is enabled, yet there it is, the dark logo is appearing. If I'd like, I can trim up the size of that logo by changing the logo display width. And then I've got a setting here to control the amount of space between the top of the page and the logo. Great. Moving down from that, we've got an area of navigation settings. So first we have our main menu selection, and we have a menu titled Main Menu within our navigation settings. You'll see in this main menu that there's a drop-down happening here. We've got this drop-down. We've got this drop-down here. I'm going to show you how to set that up. So to set that up, you can go into your navigation settings. There's a quick way to do that right here by using this Edit Menu link. It'll jump you right over to your main menu. And this is where we have our main menu links. So it's important to make note of the title of the links that you would like to create drop-downs on. So we're going to create one on Shop. Well, to do that, we've created another menu in navigation. We've gone to Add Menu and titled the menu Shop, and included within that menu any of the links that we would want to show within that drop-down. So I've done something similar here with the example menu, this drop-down menu. And that's how you get this feature to appear, just by naming a subsequent menu with the same name as the name of the link in the parent menu. I'm going to show you what happens if you do it again. So if we go here, I'm going to make note of a link. Let's use this first link, iPhone cases. I'm going to go back to my navigation settings and make a new menu with the title, iPhone cases, and add some links to it. And those links could go to anywhere on our shop or anywhere else. Just going to choose a few random links here to show you this example. Save the menu. Come back over here. I'm just going to make a quick change to the settings here to allow this to refresh. And as you see, by creating a second tier of menu, it indents that second tier. So that is how you can create a more complex menu, is by adding another subsequent menu using that naming structure. That's as many times as it works, though. You can't do it again and expect it to indent further. So that's how you create a 2-tier drop-down menu. This next setting, the number of main menu drop-down links in first column, is used to even out the number of links between the first and second column of your drop-down. So as you see here, there are 12 links, but there are 10 links in the first column and only 2 in the second column. So I'm going to come over to this setting and set it to 6 instead. And as you see here now, the drop-down links are even between the first and second column. Great, we have the option of positioning the links below the header in its entirety, which looks like this whenever you're scrolled down on the page. Or we can have the links appear directly below the parent link, which looks like this at the top of the page, and looks like this once you've scrolled down. So up to you which of those two appearances you prefer. The alignment of the menu could be in this left position, centered like this, or to the right, like you see here. I'm going to go ahead and keep it to the left. The sticky header feature can be disabled if you'd like, so that the menu is only appearing at the top of the page. The search feature here, this is where it's enabled and disabled. So how the search feature works is within the general settings. The display of the search feature is in the header settings. Here's another setting to control the amount of spacing between the top of the page, but this time between the top of the page and the menu, as opposed to the logo. Content area top padding applies to pages other than the home page. If you happen to have a header with a very tall logo, and the header occupies a great deal of vertical space, that space may end up covering the actual content of your page. So if you have any page content that is being covered up by an egregiously tall menu, then go over here to the content area top padding setting and increase it. This announcement message is like a promo bar that will appear above the main menu. Free shipping is often a message that you'll see in that bar. Over $200, we'll say. And if you had a shipping policy page or something to that effect, you could link to the page right from the announcement. Then you have the option of displaying it just on the home page or on all of the pages of the storefront. Great, so that's our header all configured. I'm going to jump back here to our master sections list, and before jumping into the body of the home page, let's scroll on down here to the other common element of the site, being the footer. So here we are in the footer. We can select a menu. I'm going to select this footer menu that we've created. Again, all of these menus are in the navigation settings, so you can create them as you see fit. The social media icons that you see here can be enabled and disabled. Now, which social media icons appear, that's an aspect of the general settings. So to control that, head into General Settings, and then to Social Media, where you can enter your various URLs to have your other social media icons appear. I'm just going to put something in here to show you that that's how you have these icons triggered. Great, so back to the footer area here. We have the ability to add more text to the copyright area. And that text appears right down here, below the newsletter sign up. The theme designer credits can be enabled and disabled. Then if you have a payment gateway enabled, you will have payment icons appearing down here in the footer. Those can be enabled and disabled. Finally, if you'd like, you can add a little bit of content to your footer. That might be a little bit too much content. Let's find another page that... So if you had some interesting page content, you can add it to the footer just like this, and it will be added into these two columns. So whether that's additional copyright text, or whether you had a special message or promo message to show in your footer, it's a great way to go about it. Fantastic. So our header and our footer are in good shape. So let's jump back to this master sections list, where you'll notice there are already sections selected and in a particular order. The great thing about this sections platform is that you can grab any of these sections and you can move it around and reorder it. So it's really up to you the order that these sections appear, and then you get a preview there on the right of how the site will appear with the change in the order of the sections. So with that in mind, let's see what the actual sections are that we can play with here on the homepage. So going to Add Section, here is the list of homepage sections that we can add. And just to note here that these are the sections associated with the homepage. So if you wanted to jump in to configure any product page settings or sections, or any collection page settings or sections, you would need to actually navigate to a collection page or a product page. So here I am on a collection page so that I can have access to the collection page settings. Likewise, if I was looking to access the product page settings, I would navigate to a product first, and then you would see the product page settings here in the interface. But since we're playing with the homepage today, we're going to stay on the homepage in the preview so that we have access to all of the sections of the homepage here in the editor. So again, these are the sections associated with the homepage. Just going to do a quick overview of all of these before we get into the design of the homepage and follow the model of the Madrid demo. So starting from the top, we've got a blog post section, and this is the default appearance of the section that appears here on the right, and that will appear even before you add it to the sequence of sections that you've selected. So a great way of previewing what a sort of a wireframe of these sections would look like. Here's a collection list, a way of listing collections, as opposed to a way of listing products. This is a featured collection, which is a way of listing products. Here are the featured promotions, which animate into position and have settings associated with the images, with the headlines here, and with the description text. This is a gallery of images that you can select. Here's a section where you can select image and then apply some text. Select whether that appears to the left or the right. An image with text overlay is like a banner, or very similar to a slide of a slideshow, where you would select text that appears over top of an image. A logo list here is often used to show publications or places where a product is available, and these are all linkable. Slideshow is very similar to the image with text overlay, but the images slide from one to another in a slideshow fashion. This is a way, using featured products is a way that you can show a product right on the homepage and allow the shopper to add it right to the cart from the homepage. Social feeds include Twitter and Instagram. We have a few options here to show a piece of page content, any page content that you've created on the Shopify platform. Here's a section of rich text and image. The image will appear above the text, and then you have some configurable text. Then testimonials is a grid of customer testimonials that are all configured through the sections interface. Finally, we have the featured video here, which is a video banner that can appear on the shop. All right, now that we've taken a look at the sections themselves, let's come up with a bit of a design for our homepage. And my suggestion for this step is to do a bit of a mix between playing with these sections to see what the settings are, and also maybe looking to the demos to see the sequence of sections that have been used to tell a story on these various examples. Since the Madrid demo is the one that we're going to be taking a look at, let's take a look at the sequence of sections that have been used here so that we can model our homepage after it. So first, it looks like we have a banner, or a image with text overlay, as it's called in the sections platform, followed by featured promotions, another image with text overlay. Here's a featured product. These here also look like image with text overlays. They could also be slideshows that have just one slide, so you could do it in either of those ways if perhaps one of these sections would eventually be converted into a multiple image slideshow. Followed by a featured collection, This image here is actually a rich text and image section without any text. Here is a logo list section, followed by that grid of testimonials. Here's another image with text overlay, followed by a blog section, and then the social media section with the Twitter area of it removed before we get to the footer. So that's the model that we're going to use for our homepage. So instead of trying to reorder these sections here and reconfigure them, I'm going to remove them all except for the first section, under the impression that our first section is going to be one of those full-width banner images, which could be either an image with text overlay or it could be a slideshow. And what we have here is an image with text overlay. So let's go ahead and upload our first banner image. I already have the banner images sort of set aside here. We've got some recommendations for the image dimensions. 1600 by 1000 is the recommendation up there. And any of these banner images, whether they're a slide or whether they're an image with text overlay, they all have similar settings down here for the title and then the subheading. Here's what the subheading looks like. Great. We have a few options here for the animation of the text. So there's a fade in, a fade up, and a fade down. Up to you. We can adjust the section height here if we wanted to trim up the height of that section. Actually make it a little bit taller. Looking good. And then we can add a call to action button here, which looks like this. And it can link to any link that we paste here, or any of the links that come up in this menu, which are the links that are already internal to our shop. So the products and the collections, the pages, the blog posts, all of the things that we've created on the Shopify platform. This arrow here at the bottom of the image can be enabled and disabled. All right, great. So there's our first slide image, which is an image with text overlay, technically. And that's followed by our featured promos. So we're going to go ahead and add a section here, go to featured promos. There's the default appearance of the featured promos. We're going to go ahead and add it. Take a look at these settings. So we can go between 2, 3, or 4 promotions per row. We're going to leave it on 3 here. And then those can animate into position in, up, or down. So a lot of rich animation with the Parallax theme. And the little dividing line between the title and the description of each promotion can be enabled and disabled. Then we can go here and add as many promotions as we'd like using the Add Promotion button. But then you would want to adjust your promotions per row setting to match that. Up to 4 promotions, I should say. Can keep adding them up to 4. The promotions can also be reordered here just like the Shopify Sections can. And let's expand it here using this triangle to see what settings we have to play with. So we can change the image here. I've got an image for my first featured promo. And I believe it even follows those recommendations. Well, it's a little bit less than the 840, but it will work. And that can link wherever we'd like, or it can link nowhere if it's just to provide some information. And then you can go ahead and configure the header and the text below just like that. So we've got 2 more of these featured links to configure. I'm going to go ahead behind the scenes and configure these to match the Madrid demo, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So as you see here, I used those exact same settings to configure the other 2 featured promos here. Looking great. So let's head back to our master sections list and add our next section, which is our next image with text overlay. So there's an image with text overlay right there. It's the default appearance. We'll go ahead and add it, and then upload our second banner image. So So here I have another banner image. And I'm going to trim up on the height of it a little bit here. Change up the animation style. And remove the subheading. Looking good. So we've got those same options that we had with the first image with text overlay. So that's in good shape. We'll go ahead and add our next section here, which is a featured product. So that's the default appearance. We'll add it. So as you see here, we can control the heading, the title of this area. We've got a couple of settings here. We can enable and disable the product description from appearing. If we had vendors associated with these products, they could appear. And then finally, the arrangement of the descriptions vis-a-vis the product images can stagger as the products progress, or they can be uniform. We're actually just going to feature the one product here, so we'll open up the one product and delete it. And then the product that remains, we will select. That's going to be this MacBook sleeve. But in tan. There we go. So that kind of starts to tell a story here. We've got this featured image with a zoomed in version of that product, and then it goes right to that product. So if that was the featured product of our shop, the shoppers would already be prompted to add it to the cart and proceed to checkout. So a great way of funneling that traffic. So we'll save what we have so far with those homepage sections, and then back to the master sections list to add the next section. And the next section we're going to play with here is this, I'll show you what it looks like on the shop. It's this area of alternating banners, all using the parallax style. It looks really neat like that. So to do this, instead of using an image with text overlay like I did for the last two banners, I'm going to show you that you could also do this by selecting a slideshow. So you could add a slideshow, and then by removing any of the additional slides, except for the first one, you've fundamentally created another section of image with text overlay. So a very similar way of creating another slide. So this is banner number 3, and select it just like that. And that's how it appears. You'll see here on the slideshow we can change the position and the alignment of the text as well. So we can play with different combinations of position and alignment. So the next 3 sections are mirror images of this, but with different images and with different text captions. I'm going to go ahead behind the scenes and configure those, and I'll be right back to show you the result. And we're back. So using those same settings, I created 2 more of these full-width parallax style banners, 2 of which are image with text overlays, 2 of which are slideshow images, 1 of which is an image with text overlay. And again, with these sections, you can easily just sort of click and drag them to reorder their appearance, just like that. So now that we've got those 3 subsequent parallax banners, the next section that we have to add here is a featured collection. So we're going to go ahead and add a featured collection and change the title of it to Our Premium Leather Cases. And then choose this Premium Leather Cases collection that we've created. And there it is appearing. Looking great. We can choose the number of products per row that appear. I have curated this collection to show 4 products exactly, so I'm going to leave that at 4. If we had a very large collection that we were showing on the home page, you could limit the number of products here, but my suggestion is to create a collection specifically for the home page, and then curate which products appear within it on the Shopify platform. Following this section of products, we have It's just an image. It's an image of a side view of the case here. It's actually a rich text and image section. I'm going to go ahead and add it. First things first, I'm going to remove all of the text. And then upload the image that we're talking about here, which looks a little something like this. So add that, almost working as a border between the section of products and whatever comes next. But you saw with the heading and text enabled the number of different options that you would have to work with. So a very flexible section for showing any combination of text and images that you wish to display. Following that image, we have what we call a logo list. I'm going to go to Add Section, Logo List here, and add it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add another logo. It's added to the list. So within the logo content settings themselves, we can choose the image, and outside of those settings, we have the actual heading setting. We're going to go as featured in. And then we're going to fill up these logos with the logos of publications that these products have been featured in. So here I've got a selection of these logos. If we'd like, we could have these logos linked somewhere. So if you wanted to link to the actual publication, or you had a blog post in reference to the article, then you could link to it with this interface here. So the other 5 logos are going to be configured in the exact same way. I'm going to do that behind the scenes, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So using those exact same settings, we've gone through and configured the other 4 logos. Just like the sections and other areas of content, you can easily click and drag these pieces of content around to change the order. Fantastic. We'll save that. We'll take a look at the next section that we get to add to our master section list here, which is this section of testimonials. So this is what the section looks like by default. I'm going to go ahead and add that. So we can change the heading here. We can also remove it like we have in our model. And we can change the number of testimonials per row that appear. Within the testimonials themselves, we've got this rich text box for the testimonial text, followed by the name of the customer or the review giver, and then you can have that link somewhere if you'd like. So if that's a testimonial from a publication, you could link to the publication right there. Just to show you some of the features of these rich text boxes that you'll see throughout the settings, that you can obviously bold and italicize text like you see here. Additionally, if you were looking to render text into a new paragraph, you could use the Enter key to create a new paragraph. Alternatively, if you were looking to just render text onto the next line, you could use the Shift-Enter shortcut to add a page break without creating a new paragraph. So you don't see it there in the editor, but that's what it looks like. So that's just a new line, whereas this is a new paragraph. And that applies to any of those text boxes that you see here in the sections settings. So we actually have a number of additional testimonials, so we'll go ahead and add those extra testimonials. And I'm not going to go ahead and configure all of these right in front of you. I'll do it behind the scenes, but I'll be right back to show you that, and then wrap up the rest of our homepage. And we're back. As you see here, I've populated the rest of these testimonials, a mixture of some that have links for the testimonial giver here, which is why they look the way that they do, and a mixture of some that just have the name of the customer there in that position. So we'll go ahead and save that section, back to our master sections list here, and add our final image with text overlay section. I'm going to add that and upload our final banner image here. Looks a little something like this. I'll remove the headline from this one for a bit of a different style. Add a neat caption and a button. So we can go here and have that go to a specific product. Since this isn't really anything about scrolling down, we'll remove that scroll down arrow. Looking good. Our next section following that final banner image is our blog section. So I'm going to go ahead and add section, blog posts. There's the default appearance. I'm going to add it here. I'm going to select my blog here first, which is the news blog. This blog only has the 2 articles in it, so I'm going to switch up the number of posts here to just 2. And as you see, these images are appearing. These are the blog images. And we talked about having an excerpt before with your blog posts. So here we are on the admin panel in blog posts. If we jump into one of the blog posts here, you'll see this excerpt section. So before this excerpt section is there, there's a link that says add an excerpt. You'll click that and add the text here that you would like to display on the homepage. So that's how you have text appear with your blog posts on the homepage, is by adding an excerpt to the blog post. We can have the tags appear with these blog posts along with the author's name, but it may be in your interest on the homepage to remove all of this extra information except for the excerpt, the title, and the image, with the understanding that shoppers may already know to click on the title of a blog post to go into the actual blog article. So that section looks great. I believe the last section we have here before we reach our footer is the social media section. So I'm going to go ahead and add that section. Social feeds. Here are the Twitter settings. So you can put in your username and change the title of the Twitter section here. If you were displaying this feed against a dark background, you would want to choose the dark Twitter feed theme here, as the text will appear with the proper coloring to be visible against a dark background. Since we have a light background, we're using the light theme, and this is where you can select the number of tweets. Our model actually doesn't display a Twitter feed. We're going to go ahead and delete it. Within our Instagram feed, we can choose the number of images that appear here, and our title. And then this is where you enter your Instagram access token. So you need to generate one for yourself. To generate an Instagram access token, use this question mark link beside the Instagram access token setting, which will bring you to the Instagram access token generator. Use the generate access token link here to generate your token, then copy that and bring it back over into your Instagram access token setting and apply it there to have your Instagram feed appear. Easy as that. Wonderful. So we have gone from a default appearance of the Parallax theme and then customized it using the built-in settings. I'm going to refresh it here, and it looks now exactly like the Madrid demo. Looking good. But before we go, I'd like to take a look at some of the sections that aren't in this demo that are part of the Parallax theme. So to show you that, I already have a copy prepared here on my admin panel. This version here where I've already customized the extra sections. So I'm going to go ahead and customize this theme here so that we can see these extra sections that I'm talking about. I've just sort of stowed them away at the bottom of the page, so they're not actually part of our design. This is just to show you what these sections look like, so you can implement them within your design. So as you remember, this is pretty much where our homepage ends. Well, here are some sections we didn't take a look at. So there's the collection list, which looks something like this. You can select the title or remove it. Select the number of thumbnails that appear per row. The title and the number of items here can be enabled and disabled. And then finally, you select the actual collections. So you select the collections from your prepared list of collections here. The image that appears will be the first product image that appears in that collection, or it'll be the collection featured image that you have applied on the Shopify platform. Or finally, you can also upload an image here if you'd like to swap out those default images. So that's the way that you configure this row here. It's called a collection list. It is a listing of collections. The next section that we don't have in the demo is this gallery section. We can choose the title. whether it's within the column framework or stretching the full width of the layout. We can select the number of images per row, being 2, 3, or 4, and then we can add images. We can actually add as many images as we'd like, and it might be a good idea to make sure that it is a number that's divisible by the number of images per row setting, so as to avoid any of those blank spaces. So that's how you go about configuring a gallery section on the homepage. This next section here is an image with text section. I have added an image here to show you where the image appears, and you can swap out the layout like that. And then within the settings, you have the heading settings, and then this rich text box, where again you can bold and italicize text, and then render text onto another paragraph using the Enter key, or onto the next line using Shift-Enter. And these sections can also include a button link that can go to any of the links that you choose from your prepared list of links. Finally, any general page content that you have prepared on the Shopify platform can be displayed in a section, just like that. So there you have it. We've gone from a fresh upload of the new version of the Parallax 3.0 Shopify theme, and we've used the customized theme settings using the new Shopify Sections interface to create this highly customized version that looks just like the Madrid demo, including some extra sections here that you can include within your homepage section sequence as you see fit. As always, if you hit a snag or had any questions, head on over to support.outofthesandbox.com, where you can enter your query and you will find a wealth of resources to help you on your way. My name is Sean Campbell. Thank you for joining me for this video guide. Take care.